Twitch tab, so we should be good. At least I hope we are. OBS says we are, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Hello everyone, this is Chris Ingerson, and it is May 9th, and this is the May 9th TextQuest Devstream. So today we're going to be taking a little bit of a break from Vertex Animations, mostly because I'm still kind of rooting around in it, trying to get a good bead on how to actually cache information and share it between multiple text effects. So for now, I am going to sort of switch gears, and we're going to do a little bit of level related stuff. It's some nice easy stuff, sort of a nice relaxing stream, which I think will be good for me. I've been sort of a little overwhelmed recently with a lot of stuff, so it'll be nice to just sort of have a relaxing art day. So today, we're going to be doing a couple of things, two major things. First is we're going to be modeling out what's called a stack, which is kind of a stupid name, but hey, I didn't name geography formations, or I guess geological formations, not geography. So a stack is basically let me see if I can find an image of this, because it's such a common name. A stack is like a stone column in the middle of an ocean, or not in the middle of the ocean, but on the ocean shoreline or in a river. Basically, I guess I could, here we go. It's this sort of formation. And I would like to have one of these, or well, actually multiple ones of these, in the canyon level, because right now the canyon level is kind of empty. There's not a lot to look at. If we actually get in here, I'll go ahead and maximize on play and just sort of pop us in the level real quick. So you can see that we have a lot of open space, but not a lot of things to really break up this this emptiness, basically. And I think, oh, that's interesting. It's like we got some shadow problems going on here. But there's not a lot going on here. And something that I've wanted to do for a long time, but we haven't actually gotten around to it yet, or rather I haven't, is sort of have this bridge start out fully connected over to the other side, and it'll actually break before you can get across it. So it would be nice to have a stack here in the center that connects basically two halves of the bridge. That way the bridge can still fall, as it does over here, and then you can climb up it again. Oh, apparently we can't yet. Oh no, I must have changed its layer. Oof. Hello, 18 Markwick. Broke your wrist for the 5th time. That is a lot of times to break your wrist. Have you tried not breaking your wrist? I know it sounds crazy, but it might work. Anyway, so one of the things that I want to do is have a stone stack, I guess is just what it's called, here in the center of the river. Just because, one, that'll help visually break up this area, make it a little bit, more interesting, because you'll have a sort of middle ground as well as a background and a foreground. I apologize for the rapid camera movements. I'm kind of using the cursor in the center as a makeshift mouse pointer. Plus, it'll make the level feel a little bit more dynamic. And having more stacks out in the ocean will help break up this. Because the ocean is really just, it's a whole lot of nothing right now. There is not a lot to the ocean, and it would be nice to have, something breaking up this line of sight. There's nothing here, and you can actually see the edges because it's just a giant plain, basically. So it would be nice to have a bit of something, anything really, to help break up this visual monotony. And it'll help in general with just the way that the level looks. And of course, today we'll probably also get audio set up for the river, because right now, as you can probably tell, there's not a lot of audio. It's kind of quiet for a raging river and a waterfall. So that's the game plan for today. We're going to start. We actually might start with audio, just because that's just get that out of the way, and then we'll move on to visuals, and we'll see what we do from there. So Actually, I lied. We'll do modeling first because I'm in the modeling scene already. I made a duplicate scene of the canyon so that I could accurately model everything. So let's see here. I'm going to switch my layout over to Pro Builder Dev. Give that a second. All right. So let's go ahead and say new shape. And if I had to make this a shape, what would I make it? Drag this over so I can look at it. So I feel like for the ones out in the ocean, I might go a little bit more rounded, but for the, well, no. I might go for an octagon, I think. Yeah, I think an octagon. Well, more like an oval, I guess. So, would that still technically be an octagon? It would still technically be an octagon. Actually, no, we might go for more of a hexagon look. So, let's see. Do I have options for that? I think I can have options for... Not that. Let's see. We want it to be a... There should be a cylinder. There we go. Prism. Oh, it's just a triangle. Alright. So let's go cylinder. Let's reduce our number of sides to 6, actually. And here's where it's going to get a little messy. I guess we can't actually set those parameters here. Dang it. Freaking polybrush. Here. Alright. So, let's see here. Let's turn on snapping. And we'll just slide this over a little bit. It's going to be a little awkward trying to get this to be in place. Thinking right about there. Alright. And it doesn't have to be exactly, perfectly in the center of the bridge. Probably what's going to end up happening is going to have a little bit of overhang on each side. Okay, let's go ahead and go back to perspective view. And let's increase our size quite a bit. So do I want multiple height segments? Yeah, for the sake of variation, I think I will. So let's see. Stack has 1, 2, or STA, 5. So we're gonna need 5 segments, I think. Let's go ahead and bump that up to. It's actually gonna be 4 segments because it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. All right. Let's give it a height of 20. I'm guessing. And that's almost right. Hello, Garrett. Welcome back. Let's see. Probably go. Let's bump this down to a 0.5 snap value. Go down here. There we go. So that's right up against the ground. All right. Let's go. I guess we'll have to keep it at 0.5 for now. Let's see. Can we set our radius? Yes, we can. Set our radius to 3. It's looking pretty good. All right. But yes, I'm doing well, Garrett. How about you? Just trying to keep on top of all the game projects. Let's see. So this has to go quite a bit higher. Let's change our height to 30. That's pretty good. Because, again, it doesn't have to match perfectly the height of the actual canyon sides. I would imagine there would be some sort of give here, so we get a little bit of a nice hang or droop, and then another overhang there. All right. So let's see here. That's probably about as good as we can get it right now. And then we're gonna have to actually stretch the vertices a little bit to get it to look right later. But for now, this is probably the best we're gonna get with our default shape parameters. Number 6. Okay, I think that's good. So let's go ahead and say build cylinder. All right. So let's come over here to our inspector. And now we're going to start moving things around. So I'm going to want to grab, I think, let's do this. Grab all of this, except for these guys. And probably not the sides here. So none of these guys. Okay. So something like that, I think. Yeah, that looks decent. We're gonna have to do something similar over here. You guys, it's not gonna let me highlight that very easily. There we go. So we're gonna stretch you out a little bit here. All right. So we got a little bit of an oblong shape, which is fine. Let's go ahead and change this. I might move this vertex. So let's go ahead and move you. Can I do that in the center? Yep, right about there. Okay, so that's in the center, nice and neat. And again, it's not quite lining up, which is fine. I actually kind of want it to have a little bit of overhang. And let's see, do I need to do anything else? I think I'm also going to go ahead and move these corners back in a little bit, just so that it has a more sharp point up here. Actually, no, hold on. Let's move that up, and I'll move this one forward. How's the Tapper game coming, Garrett? I asked because I just went to a place called Tappers. That was an arcade bar. It was pretty fun. Although I did not get to play the Tappers game that they had there, which is a shame. I meant to do that, and I just couldn't do it. Too many people. All right, so I think that's actually a pretty good spot. I think the topology is fine. Not doing anything particularly weird. All right, let's go ahead and delete the bottom faces since they will never be seen. So say delete faces. All right. So there's the first of our karsts. Or not karsts. For the longest time, I thought these things were called karsts, and karsts are just like limestone caverns for a quick and dirty definition of them. It's not actually what they are, but that's pretty close. These are just called stacks. A significantly more mundane name, which is quite disappointing. I really wanted to use karst. In any case, let's see here. So that's our river stack. And next we're going to do a couple of stacks sort of out here in the wild, just to get a feel for them, make them look nice. Save. I might also turn our ocean into less of a giant plane and more of a fan shape, just to give it a curvature. And I feel like that'll help a lot with the horizon line, because again, since it's so square, you can see the corners very easily, and that's kind of weird. Part of the reason why it's so gigantic actually is because you could see those corners, and I was trying to hide them. So it would actually be kind of nice to be able to turn, the amount of space this is consuming in a light map way down by having like a fan or a semicircle that takes up probably about half as much space. All right. Well, let's go ahead and do that. And before we finish up, let's go ahead and call this river stack. All right. And next, let's go ahead and open up new shape. Oh, interesting. They have a new poly shape. Yeah, I updated Pro Builder recently, and I haven't really looked at everything that they added. I think new poly shape is a new option. That's interesting. Let's see. Took a break from it to wait for Starlight to finish some art. I'm starting to integrate that art. I see placeholder stuff. It's always a really good feeling to have placeholder art replaced, because you just suddenly go from this feeling of everything's garbage and it looks terrible to, wow, it looks great. And even though nothing has changed, you're like, it even plays better. All right, so let's go to a plane, which is where exactly? Oh, it's not being shown. That's why. I was like, I don't know where it is. Let's turn on snapping to 1. Done. All right. And here's where it's going to get kind of nuts, because we need it to actually be fairly wide. 100. Nope, it's going to be like a 500 situation, isn't it? All right, 500. I think that's actually what it was originally. Oh wow. Okay, I don't think we need it to be 500 height. We can probably make do with 400. And I really wish I could change the pivot so that's in the center, but I understand why that would be difficult. Okay. I'm going to try doing this real quick. Alright, so that's where the plane is. We're going to get some Z fighting while I position this. We'll have to make do. I'm going to say somewhere probably around here. Yeah, that looks about right. It is kind of tough to tell sometimes. Okay. I'm going to say that that's good. So, working on a sprite-based 2D game sure is nice. Much less to worry about, like light maps. Yeah, although I have seen a lot of 2D games recently using sort of like a 2D lighting system that's meant to look realistic. So it's not flat vertex lit stuff, it's like actual light dark shadows and whatnot. Um, so let's change our width segments to 30 by 30. Is that enough? Man. Honestly, it's going to be really weird because I want to. At the end of the day, I'm basically going to be trying to. Oh, geez, really, come on. I'm going to be trying to make a fan shape, and I almost think it would be easier to carve it out myself. So let's actually do width segments 1 and 1, or actually 0 and 0. And actually, no, we'll do 1 and 1. And let's see here. No, we need to go a little softer than that. Let's do 10 and 10. And let's see. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. So we want 10 and 10 is actually probably fine. 2, 4, 5, 2, 4, 5. Let's move this over a little bit to about there. Trying to line up the edges here. So I think I want to go one more. There we go. Or do I need to go 0.5 for that? Ah, come on, really? Oh, come on. It's not being nice about it. Ah, crap. Yeah. Whatever. That's fine. That's good enough. All right. Let's see here. I think we can probably delete that and get a semi-decent shape. I wonder if I could work with a quad. Ah. Oh, actually, you know what I bet I could do is a cone. A cone would be great because I need a semicircle. So all that effort for naught. I'll just do half a cone, basically. All right, let's see here. Let's do a radius of, what was it, 500? So that's going to be a big cone. That looks hilarious when it's got a height or width of 500 and a height of 2. Let's see. We'll give it a height of 30 for convenience, because we really only need the bottom. We're not going to need anything else. Number of sides. Let's go ahead and slide this down here for now. Here. God, it's so big. That's actually too big. Okay, we could probably get away with 400. Oh man, even that's kind of big. Let's do number of sides 18. That's looking pretty good. Do you want to do 30? Would that be too smooth? Nope, 30 I think is fine actually. That's good actually. Alright, we'll do 30. I think a size of 300 might be enough. We'll do 350. Happy medium. We'll slide this around a little bit. Okay, so it's basically fanning out from here. God, this is incredibly hard to move when you're this far away from the pivot. Oh, and of course, it's incredibly inconvenient because I'm so far away from the pivot that the X block is, or the X arrow is being blocked. Alright. That looks good enough. Probably could shorten it to, oh, come on. Nope, okay, fine. 350. There we go. Now I think it's coming from that corner. That's what I was trying to do. I don't know why, I just wanted to. Except it probably actually shouldn't be from the corner, it should be from the center. So let's slide it over a little bit. So there. Alright, so now the circular shape should basically appear perfectly circular from the visual or the viewpoint. So our horizon should be shaped a little bit better. At least I hope it is. Although we will have to UV texture everything, which is going to be fun. But, you know, we'll figure that out. Okay. And to make this really easy on myself, I am going to increase my height to 100. Screw it, 200. Just to get a giant dome. Okay. Build cone. And now I am going to highlight pretty much the entire left side of it. So highlight this stuff. We are going to delete faces. Alright, highlight all this stuff. We are going to delete faces here, which should just leave the bottom. And at that point, we will highlight and we will flip them. Flip face normals. Alright. Kablam! Got our nice circular fan. And I guess I need to lower it a little bit. There we go. I'm going to have some Z fighting for a little bit, but it's fine. Okay. Let's go ahead and turn off our canyon ocean so that we don't get a seizure every time we look at everything. Okay. Alright. Next, we are going to... Actually, I'm going to go ahead and play. And then I will probably plop on the ocean texture to see what this looks like. We have a giant shake tool in the middle of everything, just because. Apparently those don't go away. Yeah, that actually looks a lot better, because I don't have the hard edges anymore. With a little bit of fogging, I think we could mask the edge even. Yeah, okay. Let's go ahead and stop playing. Let's close this, and for now, I'm going to call this Canyon Ocean. And we are going to pull up our material editor. There we go. Move this over here. Let's go ahead and select our ocean. And I believe it's that one. So, oh my God, Polybrush. Just can't let me have anything, can you? Let's go ahead and apply this. It must be incredibly tiny, which I think it is. Oh God, it's so small. Let's see, do I need to tile it? Now we're probably gonna have to pop open the UV editor real quick. Drag this over so you guys can see what I'm doing. Alrighty then. Zoom out to about here. And we're gonna shrink this by 0.5, 0.5. Ah, crap. One by one. I lied, we're going to group them first. So, texture groups, group selected faces. And I needed to group them, otherwise we'd get that individual segmentation that we were seeing. So we're going to do 0.5, 0.5. Let's take a look at that. That is a little bit better. It is still way too large. So let's have that again. 0.25, 0.25. We are getting there. 0.125, 0.125. There we go. I think that's better. All right. Next, we are going to. Do I have a build UV? Oh, let's generate UV2s. Okay. All right. All right. I'll drag this over here. Don't have to look at it. And real quick, click off this. Let's generate our UV2s. Pack margin of 2. That's what I like to do. Rebuild. All right. Oh, that's why it was an off color. The UV2s were screwed up. Oh my God. I'm going to turn off the grid. Pro grids can kind of be a little visually annoying. Ah, nuts. I got to move this in a little bit. There we go. Much better. Much better. All right. So that looks pretty good. Let's take a look at it. Well, I mean, obviously, everything is perfect right now. I don't see why I need to texture it. Alright. So, yeah. Once I apply the script to have ocean scrolling happen, that'll look pretty decent. I might actually increase that size one more time, which is unfortunate because I only memorized up to 0.125 what my halves are. So let me go ahead and select that. UV editor. Select all this. Let's see, what would half of 0.125 be? That'd be 0.0625, I think. Yeah, I think that's right. 0.0625. All right. There we go. Mostly it needs to be fairly large just so that it's visible and legible. Of course, some of this will be helped when we actually get lighting on it. Right now, I don't think it's light mapped, so it's going to be a little bit darker than anything else. But let's see here. Next, we're going to get some more stacks. And then, God, we're going to be able to open up Illustrator and do Illustrator stuff. We haven't done that in a while. All right, so what do I want the shapes to be? There are a couple of things that I could do because I'm trying to think of layouts for how to texture them and whatnot. And pulling up the stack example again, things like this. It might be fun if instead of having so actually to walk you through what I'm planning for this stack. So for this pillar here, this stack, I'm planning on having it read STACK. Each of the subdivisions gets a letter, basically. And in doing so, I'm kind of going to do the opposite with the stacks out in the ocean. Because they're going to be smaller. They're not going to be as vertical. And I would prefer not to make you squint to read stack vertically every time. So instead, I think I'm going to be a little bit more playful and have 5 small stacks out here that will just all individually have one letter. So the leftmost stack will have S, the next one will have T, then A, then C, then K, and maybe a 6th one with another S, so it's stacks. But I think I'll do that. Just to have a little bit more fun with it. All right. Gotta get stretched. And let's see here. So now we're going to generate a new shape. And here's another question. What do I want that shape to be? Well, I don't know if I want them all to be cylindrical. I feel like doing a cone shape might be better in some cases. Oh, I guess I could do an arch. Like stone arches. Nah, I think I'll stay away from arches for now. Mostly because, again, I would like them to spell out stacks. So, let's see. We have cylinder or cones. We can do pipes, but I don't think it's going to do anything, so nope, we don't want pipes. Sprite, which is just a quad, I'm assuming. Isohedron, nope. No, definitely not a torus. Oh, we don't need to have a custom shape. So, yeah, I guess we'll do, well, we might be able to do prisms, too. That could be interesting. I think we're going to do a combination of prisms, cylinders, and cones. What the heck is a door? Oh, it's just an archway. That's super weird. So let's start simple with a cylinder. We're going to shorten it down to 6 sides. I think that's plenty. Actually, you know what? We might just do prisms the entire way, because if each one's going to get a single letter, then it can't really be too complicated. Because I don't want it to be like a bunch of S's on, say, a cylinder, like each side is an S. Instead, it should just be, clearly visible. This is an S, and then a T, and so on and so on. All right, so I guess the first one will be a prism, and we'll try our hand at this to see what we can get it to look like. Dimensions, it's probably going to be pretty sizable. I'm going to do 5 by 5 by 5. So in normal terms, that's going to be pretty big. But since it's got to be far away, I think that's fine. I actually think we might make that double that size, so 10. That's a good question. Let's do 10z and maybe 5x. No, I kind of like the flatter shape. Yeah, I think that's fine. So we're going to drag you out here. Put you down. Of course, they're going to have to be partially submerged. So, does that look fine? Yeah, I think that's going to be fine. We'll rotate it just to be sure. Let's see here, 90, it would be negative 135, something like that. Go ahead and switch to global positioning, rotate this. So we're looking at something like right about here. Would probably be decent. I wonder, actually, So I kind of feel like this would be better for it for the C, like the letter C, not the word C. Um, so actually, that would mean that we would want to go for more of a 45 degree. Nope, apparently not. Negative 45. Yeah, it's a little bit better. Let's do like a negative 60. And move this over here. The reason I say that is because it's so small that out of all of the letters that could be used, their A and C are pretty much the only ones that would be good there, or the lowercase s. But we're probably going to have capital K or capital S, T, A, C, K, S, and they're going to be scattered about. And it'd be cool if I could actually get it to be a perspective thing. So even though they're different sizes and different shapes, when you actually look at them on the horizon from right about here, they'll look like they're forming a straight word, stacks. So let's see if we can do that, because I think that would be really cool. So I'm going to need to move this a little bit further over, a little bit farther back. Right about there looks fine, I think. Let's build a prism. Let's do a cylinder next. I'm going to try to basically position myself as if I was a character here. So we're looking at... God, this is kind of tough. I wish I could confine it to my camera view, but I can't really do that very easily. I guess I can pull the player prefab in. So give me a second. Oh, right, I called him Hero. Let's see. Where are you? All right, let's see. Drag you. Drag you out over here. Let's drag you down a little bit. Down a little bit more. Let's do 0.5, because again, need it to be above the water. So right about here is where I would like it to be very clear what you're doing. And that is, how is there not a camera? Because that's the combat one. Dang it. That's fair, that's fair. Pull it up. I guess do this. Copy component. Paste component values. Get rid of the hero here. Alright. And we gotta rotate 180 degrees. Bam! Alright. So that's the view that we have. So that's what we're going to be trying to cater to. This is going to be fun. So, oh right, I forgot that they added these options. We're going to add another scene view so I can drag this off to the side over here. And I'm going to be making changes to the scene view, but we're going to take a look at it through here. That way you guys can see excuse me, what all's going on. Alright, so cylinder, that's the one we're currently building. So that's the prism, and it is way too small. Well, maybe not. We'll see. Cylinder, number of sides is 6. Let's see here. That's fine, I think. We're going to change our height to 20. Wow, is it really? I was going to say, is it really just so small? That's too big. 10. And no height segments. Radius of 5, I think would be fine. Yep, that's good. Oh man, what really sucks is that apparently our main view is not going to update unless I manually scroll over here. Ah, come on. That's disappointing. Why is that? I guess I can't just force it to do it. That's kind of annoying. Oh well. I'll just have to make sure that I'm always doing this. So let's see, right about here. Let's get a little bit of a rotation going. So our Y value is going to be 45, we think. It's pretty good. We can go a little bit further, 60. That looks no different because it has 6 sides. So let's go 0. Yeah, so no difference. Hold on. Oh man, now it's not even updating in the scene view very well. So 50, no, we gotta go to like 45. 30? Yep, 30 is actually about right. 30 will give us the flat full-on face. Do I have fog on? Why does it look pale like that? I don't know. Either way, let's see here. So I'm going to move it back just a little bit, then a little bit further left. Okay, a lot further left. There we go. So that's going to be our S. And that looks decent. All right. So what would be a good shape for the T? And it can't be a cylinder. Cone? Cone would work. So let's do a cone. Oh, shit. I haven't actually built that cylinder yet. Build cylinder. Okay. Now let's do a cone. Cone. All right. Let's see. Move this down. About there. It's in the ocean now. Drag this out. Let's say our height is, again, 20. With number of sides. 6 is probably still fine. Radius of 5. That's not bad. That doesn't look bad at all. So we're going to move this in a little bit. Move it a little bit over to the left. Maybe move it a little bit further back. So it's going to be S, T, A, C, K. S. Okay. So maybe a little bit further left. Right about there. Let's give it a rotation of 15. It's a little hard to say if that's right. Let's do negative 15. There we go. It's a little bit better. God, the textures for these things are going to suck. They're not actually going to be that hard to do. I think it's just going to be kind of annoying to do them. Alright, so let's build that cone. Can't use a prism for A. And K needs to probably be a cylinder. So, actually, let's move our prism. Let's make the prism be A. And let's try moving this around a little bit. So let's give it a 0 rotation. Actually, let's give it a negative 100 rotation. I'm going to position it like so. So let's move this guy forward a little bit. Well, God, I don't want them to be in a line, but I guess that's kind of what's going to end up happening. All right, so that's ST and A. Next, we're going to go ahead and create. Man, this is going to be tough. I don't want it to be a cylinder, but I think it has to. It can be a sideways cylinder. That'll work. So let's go ahead and say show preview first of all. Come back down here. Move this over. Let's go ahead and say 0 rotation with, do I want to do 60 degree? No, that's not going to do anything. 40 degree? That's not going to do anything either. 20 degrees. Man, I can't get this to work. Let's see, the X should be 90 at the very least. Okay, and then Y would be 40, like that. Yes. Okay, negative 40. So we're getting there. Let's do negative 80. That's pretty good. All right. God, that looks very similar to the A, though, the prism. Man, I had it updating whenever I was dragging it, and now it's just not doing it. Oh well. Alright, so there's the C, I think. And we're going to need some minor alterations. Let's go ahead and say create. And I'm going to adjust the vertex points real quick. Oh man, this is going to suck. Yeah. Alright. Let's go ahead and change this back to local, just so it's a little easier for me to edit them. Alrighty then. Doing this. Doing that. Kind of stretching it out to make it look more like a diamond almost. That's before we have to come in here and delete the bottoms. So, do that real quick. Ciao. Alright, let's go ahead and delete faces. And that's pretty good. And for those of you who are curious, I try to avoid culling back faces a lot. So, or not, well, not back faces. Faces that are never going to be seen by the player, I like to texture them just in case people turn on the cheat codes that I'm sure I will have in here, and fly around. Because it's always a nice thing, to be able to just fly out of bounds and see that the developers put effort into the backs of everything, as opposed to just culling them out. And obviously, my game is not really that intense, so I think it's okay for me to have the backs of these spires be textured. I don't think it's really that much to have them. Now I am gonna do it I am going to delete areas that will never be seen or are clipping into geometry, which is why I deleted the bottom of our what's going on here? Which is why I deleted the bottom of the stack over here, because again, there's a difference between putting effort into something and just wasting resources, and something that's going to be light mapped and will always be the same color of light map and will just not really be that useful and is not interesting to look at because it's below the ground. That's when it's okay to delete things. But it's, if it's out here, for example, it makes sense to, delete the bottoms, but keep these existing so that people can see them if they really, really want to. Anyway, deleting these bottom faces real quick. Faces. Pretty good so far. Alright. Do you think I'm going to I'm going to slide you out a little bit. Alright. Let's see, that's an A. I could probably create some nice asymmetry here, which will murder me, but it's so far away that it's actually not going to be that bad. So you can do stuff like that. And that'll create an interesting shape. Yes. Yes. Brilliant. Alright. Alright, so I have S, T, A, and C. Next I need K, and then finally S. K, I think I'm going to make a cylinder. And S, I don't actually know. We'll figure that out when we get there. I think I'm going to make it another prism. So let's go ahead and try naming these things so that I don't forget. So I'm going to call it stack A, stack S, stack T, and stack C. Oh, stack C. All right. So we're getting there. All right. Next, let's go ahead and pull up our game view again. And we're going to have to come over here to the shape tool, show preview. What do we want? We want a cylinder. Yep, I think that's fine. Let's go ahead and move it around. Da, 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 da. Let's see here. Do I want this to go forwards or backwards? I think it's fine in the back. Let's give it a rotation. 20 looks about right. And I think we could probably shorten this one, actually. So let's shrink its radius to like 3. Yeah, and its height down to 6. Yeah, that's fine. So S, T, A, C. Oh, wait, it's K. Right. So this needs to probably still be pretty tall. We might actually keep that at 10. Okay. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. That's probably fine as is. So build cylinder. And the last one that we need is, I think I'm just going to make it a prism again. All right, so let's go ahead and lower this. Rotate this. Okay, we're doing good so far. Let's change our pivot. And let's rotate it -20, -60. Not quite that. -45. -30 then. There we go. Looking good. So let's try. So S, T, A, C, K, S. Nice. Let's shorten its dimensions in the X though, to 5. Oh, sorry. In the Z to 5. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, I think that's actually probably fine. So build prism. Hooray! We have everything now. So stack K and stack S. All right. We have our stacks. Success! Let's go ahead and save real quick. And now I can close the scene view over here. Oops. There we are. So this is what our shapes look like. Pretty good. I normally don't do asymmetry, but again, these are far enough away that I'm comfortable not being a psychopath when trying to line up all of the textures. I'm comfortable. I'm not happy, but I'm comfortable doing it. Let's go ahead and delete some of these faces real quick. Faces. All right. Just one more. And delete faces. All right. So already, I'm actually getting really excited. I always love getting into the level development stuff, doing the art, even though I do feel like it sometimes can be a bit of a slog to watch. But it's always fun to do stuff like that. Come up with a fun little visual pun. Is that a pun? It's not really a pun. It's more like a play on words. Um, or rather just playing with words. But doing stuff like that is always fun. Just sort of spur of the moment level design. That's more nice set dressing that probably 60% of people will never notice. But hey, what are you going to do? Let's see here. So do I have anything else that I really want to model? Not right now. So eventually, and I'm probably going to do this in Maya actually, or I could try the Houdini workflow. That's something I've been wanting to look at. But no, that costs money, so I probably won't do that. Because basically what I would like to do is I would like to have this bridge, come across to here, then another bridge come across to there, and when you're crossing the bridge for the first time, it's intact, and by the time you get to the center, you'll actually be blocked off from going all the way over by the wizard. He'll destroy the bridge and basically cut the bridge here so that it falls over, and then you have the ladder back up, and then he'll cut the bridge over here so that it falls over, and you have the ladder down into the river. So I think that'll be a nice little thing to have, a nice little set piece to do. We probably won't work on that this week, but we're setting things up for it because that is something that's eventually going to need to happen. Okay. So in addition to that, do I have anything else really that I want to model? No, the cave's pretty good as is. Okay, so that's a good spot. Next, we're going to do some texturing. So, go ahead and open up Illustrator. Haven't opened up Illustrator in forever. Well, for TextQuest at least. Okay. Go ahead and make a new document. And we're going to call this one a Canyon River Stack. Yeah, that should be fine. And 1024 by 1024, that's fine. All right. So it's been a while. I guess we're going to actually just do height maps again, aren't we? So height. I guess we'll just do masks. Canyon River Stack. All right, so how do we want to do this? Let me open up the Canyon one real quick. So game development, Unity, TextQuest, art, textures, environment, overworld, Canyon. Okay. Come on. Oh, come on, really? Screw it. We'll do the canyon.ai. Alright, so here's the canyon. This is the way that we designed that. We're probably going to do something similar color scheme. We will probably end up changing it so we don't actually have this base texture, and instead it's just going to be more about the normal and the masks. Specifically this. So we're going to do something similar, just instead of each row being one whole word, we're just going to have each row be a letter. It's going to say stack. So let's go ahead and do. This is going to be interesting. What do I want to call this? I guess I'm going to, oddly enough, break everything out. Ugh. Well, we'll see. So we're going to have row 1. I'm going to have 5 rows to this. I guess stack has 5 letters. And let's see here. So we're going to say T, here's the text tool, go to Commodore 64 pixelized, no anti-aliasing, 72, so STACK. Okay. Alrighty then. We're going to actually bump that up to 120, 240, and vertical spacing of probably 120, 180. Not that large number. Alright, so we're getting there. Right about there. Give the K a higher leading here. Let's do 200. I guess 240 then. Too much, 220. Excuse me. I don't know why, but for some reason I tried to cover up the mic rather than turn it off. Alright. So that is looking pretty good. Alright. Now the question here is, so this is going to be used for this stack. But I wonder if I could actually use it for everything else. I think I could. Alright, let's get rid of... we'll probably keep the hero in there for now. So I need 2 stacks, or like 2 large stacks in a row here, but everywhere else, I think we can get away by having, or with having 1. We'll see. I'm a little worried about things like this, where it's just not going to line up properly, but we'll see. Because I think I can fit 2 stacks here on the left side, and then the right side can be S, T, A, C, K, S for our outer stacks. And then the river stack can just use the 2 stacks that we have over there on this side. So let's go ahead and drag this out over here. We're going to duplicate this. Drag it out over to about here. Okay. And with that, let's see, does that look about right? Yeah. I think it's going to be a little odd. And thinking back on this, I don't know why I actually subdivided this vertically. I don't exactly need to do that. Although I guess it would allow me to do cool things like actually having it shrink in a little bit at these seams. We might end up doing that just to see what it looks like. But for now, let's see. So we have stack, and okay. Let's go ahead and open this up. So I'm going to call this river. Oh crap, it's already under Canyon River Stack, isn't it? Oh good, I haven't actually properly named it yet. So I'm just going to call it Canyon Stacks. I'm going to go into Environment, Overworld, Canyon. So Canyon Stacks, hit save. Okay. I'm going to do Canyon River Stacks. So basically that. Come over here. And let's see here. So we're going to duplicate row 1, row 2. Duplicate both of them. Row 4, row 3. Basically, the S is going to be 1 row, the T is going to be 1 row, the A's, C's, and K's, they all get their own individual row. Let's see here, duplicate row 4, it's going to be row 5. Move this up. Alright. Okay. Let's go ahead and turn off everything except row 1. Come in here. Hit T. I'm going to delete all of this. Alright. Simple enough. Lock that down. Oops. Alright. There we are. Alright, so there's the T's. Let's turn on row 3. That. Nice. Alright. Got 2 A's. And lock that. Let's go ahead and open up our row 4. It's going to be our C's. Alright. Go ahead and lock that. And finally, row 5. Alright. Nice. We got our individual rows now. So let's see here. In reality, I'm going to have to do a couple of things. I need to make this text. Duplicate this. Duplicate this text. Put it down here. This stuff up. Duplicate text. Alright. This stuff moved in. Alright. Next we're going to make a sub one. Call it PG. And actually I'm going to be lazy. We're not going to have a sub one for that. We're just going to lock our text real quick. And then we are going to create a solid color. That is going to be black. Simple as that. Then we're going to unlock this, highlight our text, we're going to make it white. Alright, duplicate this, drag this below here, unlock all of our layers. Again, we're going to make all of our text white, basically. That way, when we have masking actually working, it will properly show up. Let's go ahead and duplicate this. Duplicate. Alright. Grab this stuff. I don't think it's going to actually let me do it, is it? It might. Oh good, it did. Ha! Lock you, turn you off. Okay, just making sure that they all showed up. We can lock those now. So we have our river done. Let's go ahead and just lock the main river one. Save this, turn it off. Alright. Next is going to be our let's see, how do we want to do this? So I guess this would be our ocean. Ocean. Okay. Probably going to do a similar structure where we have, instead of rows 1 through 5, we're going to have just straight up STACK. And then S again, I guess. So let's go ahead. Oh, come on. It is not locked. There we go. So ocean, we're going to call this one S. And here's where it's going to get fun. Okay. How do we want to do this? That's fine. I do think I'm going to go ahead and have a separate subdividing layer here just for my own personal reference, so I can know exactly where half is. Because as it is, yeah, I got some extra space here, which is fine. it's just something I'm going to have to reconcile with at some point, either by moving my S's over a little bit, or moving my second stack over a little bit, or something. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see what we end up doing over here. All right, we're going to move that to the back now. Turn off our river, and now we have our ocean. So let's start with creating a text object. And before we actually do anything with that, we're going to make a solid color. It's going to be 256 by 256. All right, that is not good enough. Okay. Plus 128. Plus 128. Basically, I'm trying to subdivide this into 3, and I think I can do that with this. So this is going to be fun. Let's see what this ends up looking like, actually. Duplicate you. That is too far over. Damn. Because I think that actually is what would give me... It would not. Okay, so I gotta go smaller. Let's see. Let's do minus 64. Minus 64. So we're working with like that. Okay, let's go ahead and delete that. Let's duplicate this. That's pretty good. Now if we turn on this, it's a tight fit, but it might be okay. Is that going to give me thirds? Just a little bit too much vertical room. Dang it. Alright. So I probably need to do something like, I don't know, plus 8 for our height. Snap that. Come on. Snap that up. Let's go ahead and duplicate this. And then we're going to duplicate this. And okay. So that was not the answer. Do another plus 8. I know I'm doing a lot of fudging. It's because I'm a crazy person who needs to do this. Okay, path. This over to here. Oh my god, seriously? How is it still... There. Delete this. Duplicate this. Watch this one be overshot. Oh god damn it. Just can't win. Minus 8. Alright. Let's go ahead and duplicate this. It's good enough. That's as close as I can get to an even distribution of verticality. And for the sake of it, let's go ahead and make our width shorter just by a little bit. Alright, so now, when we duplicate this and drag it over, if I were to turn on the river, or rather, if I were to just, move this over slightly, then I think we're good. Yeah. So that's actually a pretty good distribution. So our stacks on the left take up about, I don't know, a third, a little bit under that. Or actually, I guess a little bit over the third. And then the C stacks will take up the rest of it. All right, we got it down to one texture. I was a little worried that I was going to have to do a lot of materials. Hello, Test the Barbarian. Welcome to the Devstream. We are working on textures right now. Right now I'm doing a lot of mask layouts. So if It's like 2D, but for 3D. Oh, I was almost a terrible host. How are you tonight, Tusk? I always like to ask everyone. I sometimes forget, and I always feel bad when I do. But anyway, let's go ahead and select this, and let's select this one. Okay, delete this, and now we have our chunk. Good. So I can move this over here. Select this, get our T going, and this is going to be our S. Let's make it white so that it pops. So we're looking at about there. Yeah, it's probably going to need to be pretty big, so that's probably fine. I think the main challenge is going to be coming in with lots of little stack, basically, in the background. It's probably going to have like little lines saying stack, stack, and stack, and stack, and stack. But let's see here. I think that's fine. Let's go ahead and actually let's duplicate that layer. You're cool? Well, that's cool. How'd you find the stream, by the way? Just randomly browsing through the bottom of the barrel of Twitch? I always like to ask how people got here. Let's see. So this is going to be our S background, I guess. Don't really have a good term for it. I'm just going to have to do that. I'll lock the S layer, move it up, and so we're going to change this. So instead of text copy, it's going to be pretty significantly different. We're going to bump this down to 72. Might even have to go smaller. 48 is probably fine. So let's try to get that working. So stack. Let's get our spacing down a little bit. Negative 100. That's probably fine. See if we can get that in there twice. Maybe. Again, I'm not too concerned with getting it to be 100% accurate, just because these textures are going to be really far away, so you're not going to really have a good chance to read them. I'm going to bump that back out to 0. So I think it's okay for them to be kind of wonky. Let's go ahead and bump this over to the left a little bit. I might actually space it out some. 25, 50. There we go. That looks good. Copy that, paste it out here. All right. Just stumbled in from the game dev community. All right. Got another one trapped. Let's go ahead and duplicate this. Drag it down, drag it over. Man, this is going to be an interesting one. Duplicate. I'm basically going to be doing a lot of sort of odd, not really caring about anything outside of this box, which, again, normally I would be incredibly obsessive about, but since it's so far away from the player, I'm not too concerned with it. So duplicate this. Let's drag this back out to here. That looks good. Let's duplicate this. Are you coding a text game in Unity? I am. I will actually show you that. So this is Text Quest. It is a first-person text-based adventure when it decides to load. And hold on, I will get rid of the shape tool thing. So everything in the world is made up of text. And everything's also interacted with, so I can examine self. So it's a parser-based text-based adventure. And doing all the textures involves quite a bit of legwork, trying to come up with the right terms for everything and making sure that everything's legible and lines up properly. I really miss doing traditional texturing because it's so much easier. But we're currently working on textures for the stacks, which a stack is just a vertical stone formation in the middle of a river or the ocean. And that's what we're doing right now. And once we're done with our textures in Illustrator, we'll bring it into Substance Designer to actually make the textures, or to make them procedurally generated. So that's what we're doing right now. For the past week or so, we have been doing vertex animation on the individual text components to make it animate, basically. So you could get stuff like rumble, or what you saw there. If you were looking, the S disappeared. That's another thing that we're experimenting with right now, getting letters to just vanish. But that's kind of what we're doing right now. How about you? Are you just are you a game developer, or are you just perusing the game development section, having fun, laughing at the freak shows? Let's see. So stack. A little bit nuts here. I want it to be decently varied. I got room for one more. Like right about there. Duplicate this, move down, and we're probably fine with this. Let's go right about there. All right. Is that good? Yep. So we don't really have one that matches any time. That's fine. And all right, so that's the background. And we are also actually going to need to do I want to try to isolate it? I should probably try to isolate it. All right. So let's go ahead and duplicate this path. And then we'll just stretch it across the entirety of the map. There we go. Except, actually, that's not exactly what I wanted to do. Instead, I wanted to do this, don't I? Shrink this and make it go to there. And I need to have another one that's going to actually fill in over here. Right about there. Shrink this one down. Really? Not wanting to slam into that? There we go. All right, so now that text is getting sort of cut off, which is fine. We don't actually want it to be visible outside of its box. Working on a zombie survival game at the moment. Nice. Is it a 3D survival game, sort of like DayZ? Is it a 2D one, sort of more like was it Lone Survivor? Was that what I was thinking of? Let's see here. So that's the basic layout for our two main shapes for the sea or the ocean textures, which are way out here. So that's the S that's going to go on this guy. And everything's going to be a variation on that, essentially. Crap. That might actually just not work. We might end up having to do two materials after all. No, actually, no. I think I can get away with it. Well, we'll see. We'll see what I can do if I can pull some wizardry out. All right. So here's our S. Put this in here, and next we're going to need to do our T. And to do that, I'm going to duplicate S, make it T. Oh, it's VR. Fancy, fancy. Is this a learning project? Are you wanting to just figure out VR? Or are you wanting to take this to a full development game? And release it on, say, like Steam or Good Old Games or whatnot? Let's see here. So I'm going to grab my T. Get rid of the words copy because I'm neurotic. Open this stuff up, get rid of copy. Okay, we're good here, and get rid of copy. All right, let's see. I'm going to unlock this. I'm going to lock S. I'm going to select T, and we're basically just going to drag it over to here. actually probably turn that on, turn that off. Good. All right. So let's select this. I'm going to make it a T instead of a S. I also did this backwards, but it doesn't really matter, I guess. Okay, it's going to be lowercase t because it's not the start of the S. Don't need to worry about that. And our background, just to make sure, I'm going to lock that, turn that off. That looks fine. Okay. Although I guess actually I will turn this off and let's go ahead and duplicate this because I need to trim it there as well. All right, move this up. There we go. I'm always annoyed how Illustrator looks like it has a line right here, but then when you zoom in, it's actually not there. So it always bugs me. Anyway, so there's our T background. Looks like we're good there. Turn on our T. Let's lock our T. And make you invisible. Oh, sorry, I was doing that wrong. Okay. So next, we're going to go ahead and work on our A. Duplicate this. Drag this below. Make it an A. Unlock it. Come down here. Open everything up. Get rid of the words copy. Yeah, I'm still learning at the moment. I'm just focusing on desktop ports since fighting with performance constraints on my phone. Google Cardboard is a nightmare. Yeah, I would also assume that trying to figure out controls for mobile is difficult as well. I know that things like Samsung, why can't I think? Gear VR. There we go. I couldn't think of it for some reason. Has like a sidebar. It might come with a controller, a weird one. And Daydream comes with a weird controller, but you can't expect everyone to have that. So there's just a lot of design decisions you have to make with that. Let's go ahead and call this A background as well. Don't need to worry about that. Pretty much the same. It's going to be fine. Let's see. Change our text. Actually, no. Before we do that, minimize everything. Select this, and we're going to move it. It's going to be fun. It's going to need to go like right here. All right. Turn off T, and we should be good to go. So let's make our T over here. Make it an A. A background should be fine. I think we just need to do one up top, which just means that I need to move this pretty much. Shrink this down. Come on. There we go. Oh, come on. I hate it when it gets like this and it doesn't want to intersect properly. All right. So that should be the A background. Looks good. Go ahead and lock that out. Hit save. Let's turn off the background. Turn on T. Let's turn off its background. So we're looking pretty good so far. I am going to real quick shuffle, for lack of a better term, the T and the A. Or not the T and the A, the T and the S. Just because I want it to be S-T-A-R. Or not. I knew I was going to spell start. S-T-A-C-K. And then generic stuff over here. Alright, so let's unlock this. Let's grab the T. I'm going to slide it over. Right about there. It's fine. I'm going to grab the S now. Come on. Are those locked? Of course it is. Grab that. And then we're going to drag you. Okay. It's not playing nice. It's not going to want to do it, is it? Of course not. Friggin' hell. Turn off the T background. I'm going to have to eyeball it. Right about there. Alright. And that actually means that we're going to need to move the backgrounds around a little bit. Control system is basically done. It uses standard dual analog FPS controls, but with the added 3-axis gyro control, allowing you to look independently of where your gun is aiming. Okay. Are you using Vive or Oculus for your deployment? Or I guess which one are you targeting? You could theoretically use both, but I usually people tend to prioritize one over the other. Let's see here. So grab our backgrounds here, and we're gonna grab this T background, slide that over to here, and move it up to here, and then we should be fine. Let's turn you off. Mark the S layer. Turn it off. Yeah, we're fine here. Okay. Okay, I think we're good there. Everything's back on track. So let's go ahead and turn off that. Zoom in. We're good. We're going to duplicate A. Go ahead and call this, let's see, C. Drag the A up above it. I'm going to select all of the A's. And we're going to have fun sliding it over to here. Ha! And reshuffling everything, because of course we will have to do that. It's never fun. All right. Slide this over. This over to, come on, there. This to here. Move that there. So, hold on. You say dual analog controller. So you're talking about like Resident Evil style, where you don't have a motion controller, you're actually using a like Xbox controller for your control scheme? Oh, I was asking if you were targeting Vive or Oculus. Usually people will target one over the other, mostly for development costs. You might want to try to support both, but depending on what your setup is, obviously it's expensive to have a Vive and an Oculus. Okay, let's go ahead and duplicate this and shrink this one over. Move it down to here. Okay, this up to here. All right, zoom in. Looks good. Zoom back out. Okay, so that's the A finished up again. Let's lock that. Turn off its background. And we're going to come back over here to C. Unlock it. Rename some things. We'll call this C background copy. Except we'll get rid of the word copy because it drives me nuts. And A becomes C. All right. Good here, good there. Turn this off. Oh. What is this? Why are you hidden partially? Shite. Is that the T? Ah, crap. So, of course, I bet the A is the same way. Yep. Okay, so these need to be moved down. Wonderful. Turn you on. Unlock you guys. And let's see, I was targeting Android mobile via Google Cardboard, but starting to think about moving up to Rift. Yeah, I personally just think that it's too limiting to do mobile VR. Which is ironic considering that mobile VR is the one that most people would want to do. You know, no cords, and they're going to carry their phone around with them. Oh man, this is going to suck. Suck really hard. Jeez. I'm going to have to cheat. Oh, come on. I'm going to make this not black so that I can easily see it. And then we're just going to line up with that. There we go. Much easier. And much better. Okay, and now we can turn it back to black. Alright, let's go ahead and close this up. Lock everything down again. Turn off the background layer, and oh my god, we're almost done. And then we get to texture it in Substance. Yay! Let's see here. So our backgrounds here are. So I'm going to need to actually stretch this up a little bit. There we go. And let's go ahead and lock that. Unlock the A. Check its background just to be sure. Yep. So we need to stretch that up. Ta-da! Go ahead and minimize that and lock it down. All right. So let's get C duplicated, turn it into K. Actually, you know what? Nuts to that. Let's get rid of that and let's duplicate A, because A is right next to where I would want the K. I have a lot of space that's going to be left, isn't there? I screwed up at some point. Dang it. Turn off the C background. Let's unlock this. Highlight it. God, I hate it when it does this. Well, for starters, I can at least do that. All right. All right, there we go. Much easier for us to see everything now. Let's highlight it all. I'm going to go up here. Snap above. There we go. And just to make sure, snap everything down. Oh, crap. There we go. Alrighty then. Grab this stuff. Grab you. Okay, good. They're the same. It's fine. Do this, and we're going to need one more duplicate path up here. One that's just going to fill in the rest of the space. Wow. God, the snapping in Illustrator is so annoying sometimes. Alright. So when you're doing Xbox controller for the movement, are you noticing any sort of disorientation with that? Because I've heard that that's how Resident Evil 7 does it. You know, they use the PlayStation controller. This is going to be our K. And K. And people have said that it's actually not that bad, which is interesting because a lot of conventional wisdom for VR basically said you can't use a controller very easily because people will get sick. So there's our stack. Finally. Ugh. God. Takes so long to do textures sometimes. And let's see here. So there's our K. There's our background. I guess I should check that just to be sure. Yep, that looks good. Turn on our K again, lock it down. We are going to duplicate the K because we need its background basically for this last spot to fill it in. So let's go ahead and duplicate that. This is going to become our sort of like miscellaneous. It's not going to have a giant letter, but it is going to have artwork. Although fortunately, I can actually bump everything up one whole level. Isn't that nice? Oops. Nope, nope, no, no, no. There we go. And let's see. So to do that, I'm going to need to move you over to here. Okay, come on, work with me here. Nope, it's not going to snap. Doesn't want to do it. Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to delete this. It's not too bad. Okay. Does it take any getting used to? Or is it something that you could just sort of like pop it in and you got pretty much in tune with it right away? Go ahead and stretch this. Okay. I think we're in a good spot. Go ahead and zoom in. Everything's good. Yeah. Okay. No, I'm out of water. Dang it. No, I should have filled up before the stream. Oh well. So we have our masks now, and I think let's go ahead and unlock all of this, then lock ocean. Okay. Let's do divide basically. I'm gonna bump this up, and we're gonna actually let's turn this off. It's gonna be interesting. So our divide is actually going to be something less straightforward than I would have thought. Oh, god dang it. Of course, it's going to be super awkward about it. Ugh. Turn our S into a non-black shape again. Do freaking red. Alright. What, does it use visuals? Seriously, it should know. I don't know why it won't let me snap unless it's easy for me to tell that it needs to go somewhere. Alright, let's turn this back to black. Alright, lock the ocean layer again. We're going to make this white. And everything else, duplicate this, will be black. The only thing that's a bit weird is being able to look one way while your gun is pointing forward. Yeah, I could see that being a thing. So if you're doing VR development on your computer right now, but you're saying you're not using a Rift, how are you testing that? Are you just always making builds to your phone and then testing it that way? Okay, so I think we got everything in here that we need to have in there. Oh, this is gonna be nuts. So let's go ahead and start saving things out. So canyonstacks.ai, we're good there. Let's go ahead and start with our divide. So it's going to be our SVG, canyonstacks, mask, divide. Okay. File, open recent, canyonstacks. Turn this off, get rid of the divide and the river. Oh god, this is going to be so much. Yep. SVG, canyonstacks, mask, river, S. Recent file. Got a lot to export. Still wish that I had written, oh jeez, of course, written some kind of like batch file for this because it would have been much nicer. Save this out. So this is going to be river stacks, mask, river, T. Recent files, canyon stacks. Oops. Come on. Delete this. Alright. Delete rows 1, 2, and 4, and 5. Let's see. Canyon stacks, mask, river, T. Make this an A. Recent files, canyon stacks. Unlock everything. before. Save it out as an SVG and C. Okay. But right now I'm just doing desktop builds and testing without the headset. Okay. How's that feel? Yeah, I guess that would work. That's always been the really frustrating part about doing VR development is testing. Just because of all the steps you have to do. Even if you do have a headset at your set up at your computer, it usually involves getting up and putting it on, and there's a good 30 seconds lost. Oh, dang it! I almost did that wrong. SVG. Make this a K. We're halfway there. God, this is just nuts. All right, let's go to open files, Canyon stacks. So we're done with the river at least. That leaves us with a lot of regular stacks. I think we're gonna start doing the substance with just the river, and I'll do the ocean later, because the ocean one's gonna take forever. There's a lot to that ocean stack. All right. Oh man, it's been so long since I've been in Substance Designer. New substance. We're gonna do physically based metallic roughness. Man, they added so much. Let's see. We're gonna call it Canyon Stacks. Size mode is gonna be relative to parent. That's fine. Of course, I'm gonna have to adjust that later on. Let's see, base color, normal, roughness, metallic. Oh, interesting. It has a height thing now. Huh. Didn't used to have that. I don't really need the height, but that's fine. We'll just delete it. Yes. Oh, right. Gotta sign in and do all the fun stuff. Okay. So let's see here. Let's come over here. And if I remember correctly, at least they used to do this. Oh, they had it, and I don't remember what it is. So hold on. File. I think I got to do preferences again. No, maybe not. Oh, that's disappointing. I don't remember where they put it. Ah, here it is. Parent size. 1024. I like to work in 1024. All right, so let's separate things out a little bit. Give us a little bit of room to work. See, our normal and our color are going to be nasty and huge. We're not going to need height. I don't use it in Unity because that's what our normal is doing. Come down here. Metallic is pretty much for this thing going to be solid, so we can do a uniform color there. Make it grayscale and just have it be nothing. I hate it when I have to reassign all this stuff. So text west, art, substance, environment, overworld, canyon, and there we go, canyon stacks. Okay. So we'll leave metallic as is. I'm probably just gonna have to deal with that fact. Or actually, I think I can clamp it to 512 by 512. And then we can clamp our roughness maps to that too, probably. It should be fine. We'll find out. I'm pretty sure that'll be fine. All right. So let's go ahead and grab all of our things that we just made. So canyon stacks. So for the most part, link resources, everything's fine, hit OK. We haven't actually done too much. Go ahead and drag this stuff in. I guess I should probably try to do vector graphics quality of 1. Not that I think it really does much. So we're not going to go really crazy here. We're just going to do the stack for our river. Come on. You can do it. Freaking polybrush. So we're not going to have to do a bunch of stuff. I'm more curious to see if it'll even look nice, but we'll find out. So let's see here. I'm going to go to substance. So these are our masks. Let's try to organize them into some seemingly reasonable order. Do this. I like to have one whole square of separation between everything, just so that the nodes are easier to look at. Drag this out. We're going to have to drag this back. I'm going to have a lot of masks in this freaking thing. These are all going to be grayscale, which is convenient. Speeds everything up, because masks don't need to use color. They just need to use grayscale. Alright, let's see here. We're going to have a normal combine. It's going to feed in at the end here. Have a normal. Normal. Let's see. This is interesting. I have a warning. I wonder if that's just because I don't have anything doing anything with it yet. Parameter value not supported in this compatibility mode. What does that even mean? Well, either way. We're going to expose this as normal format so that our game engine can talk to it and say whether it's going to use DirectX or OpenGL. Let's see here. I'll plug that in, plug you in eventually. Okay, that helps with that. That was not actually the right spot. Whoops. Get rid of you. You need to go there. There we go. All right. And let's see here. God, we're going to have a lot of color, which is going to be super fun. All right. So let's go ahead and do a blend node. No, that's fine. I'm going to have a uniform color. It is going to be a absolute value of 8 by 8. Or is it 16 by 16? I think it's 8 by 8. It might be 16 by 16. I don't remember. I think I'm going to go with 8 by 8. I think it has to be 16 by 16, actually. There was some weird thing with how Substance optimizes its color generation, and I believe Wes, the guy who does all the Substance videos, says that 16 by 16 is the optimal size for it if you're just doing a solid color. Anyway, this is going to be our background color, and then we will have a similar thing up top for our foreground color. Let's go ahead and make our background color like an orangish color for now, with our foreground color being like a yellow. And then we're going to use that. Ooh, right. This is going to be relative to parent. Ta-da! There's our S's. So we're going to get stack spelled out. And I kind of wonder if I should actually... crap. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to get it functional for today. I probably actually want to stagger these so that it's not that the S's are the same. It should be S-T-A-R-T, or dang it, I keep wanting to spell start. S-T-A-C-K are different colors, and then S-T-A-C-K are different colors, just so that it doesn't sort of line up and give me a solid ring effect. But then again, no, actually, no, that doesn't make sense. Because that was part of the reason that I did the color layout in Canyon, is that it's supposed to be that, like the layering that you get with rocks. If you've ever been to a canyon, you'll see that there's distinct lines that represent sort of different geological periods. And that's the point of the different colors. So it actually makes sense for them to be the same color. So I'm going to keep that. All right, so we're going to do another blend node. And actually, this one, I think I'm just going to copy this one and paste it in over here. Delete everything. And we're just going to keep doing that for a little bit. All right. Let's go ahead and copy, paste. Looking good. Ks now. I'm going to drag my masks backwards a little bit. Drag this up. And I have to drag this back a little bit too. Okay, we'll just copy this actually. Drag that, move this in, copy and paste. Let's move everything back by one again. I like to keep some semblance of order. And finally, I will need my K to come in here. Ta-da! Alright, so real quick, let's try to take a guess at what my colors are. So, let's go for like a orange or dark red, I guess, to start. Something like that. And then we'll follow that up with a pale color. So I would think something is going to be actually a weird color. Kind of need a saturation. But that's not going to be super easy now, is it? I kind of want like a almost pinkish, except not neon pink, clearly. But I can't go to white, which is a little disheartening. I want something like that. God, this is going to be super fun trying to guess what color that was. Nuts to it. I'm just going to do that. Let's see. What was next? Next was yellow, which we'll keep. Alright. And after yellow, we had a tannish, like a brown almost. And after that, we went to a golden kind of, like a crispy yellow, like a dark yellow. Oops. One I forgot to change. Something like this, maybe. Like that. Not great. There we go. That looks good. Let's plug in that color. Alright, we got everything on there. And man. So how do we want to do this? Well, normally I would have a height map, which I do not have right now. So we're actually going to sort of slop something together real quick. Let's go ahead and say blend. Do this and this. And it is, instead of going to be copy, it's just going to be max. And we're just going to keep doing that. So this one will be this one, and this one. We'll have another one. This one is a combination of these two guys. And then finally we have the last one, which is going to be a combination of this and our K. So we have everything, and we can plug that into our normal map. Let's go ahead and copy this, paste it in, delete this. Boom. Alright, there is our lettering. It probably actually should be in reverse, so the letters should be sunk in. So that's a simple fix. We can kind of fudge this. Let's go ahead and do this real quick. And we'll probably just move these things down so they're like this. Maybe move this over to here and do a levels here. And we're just going to quickly invert these. Whoop. Whoop. There we are. Now our letters are sunk in because it's stone. And stone letters are sunk into the stone. They are not popping out of the stone. Let's see. Next we're going to need roughness, which for now I'm just going to do as uniform color, actually. I'm just going to be lazy about that. We're going to make it grayscale. It's going to be all the way up. Plug it in. And there we are. So, looking good. Looking good, looking good. I think we're going to very quickly generate our parameters for the stack, and then we're going to try to texture our river stack, and we'll probably call it a day after that. We've been streaming for 2 hours already. Let's see. I just hope that it's actually going to turn out well. It might not. So we're not fully done yet. I do actually need to do some normal map stuff. Specifically, let's see here. I need my noises. Where are my noises? They changed everything on me. Functions, PR. What the heck? Hold on. Blending blurs channel. Where are my... Where's my library? Okay, well, hold on. There we go, generators. Okay, so I think we want... Let me take a look at the canyon. I think we used a fractal sum base for the canyon, and then the individual letters got more of the actual normal map stuff, but the fractal sum base was used to break everything up. Let's go ahead and pull this in. Do that. So yeah, you can see that it's making it at least a little bit rougher. It doesn't feel like it's a smooth surface anymore. And to kind of cheat, I am going to, I guess, go ahead and do a normal blend. No, we're not doing it with you. Stop it. Well, yeah. I guess it's just going to be a regular blend node for now. So this is going to be our base. Let's see here. This is going to be our mask. And we will have, I don't know, we should have a crack in here somewhere. Hold on. Where are you? Go to our noises. There we go. Not scratches. We should have, here we go, cells. We'll do cells 2. And we'll put this in here. All right. So that should break everything up a little bit more. I don't like how aliased these guys look, so I think we're going to do a bit of levels real quick. Levels. Just to kind of soften everything up. Let's get a little bit darker in here. Hold on. Let's soften these guys up. Dim it down a little bit. So it's going to be a little cracky right now, but that's fine. I want us to have a visual difference. That way we can judge it properly, but I'm not too worried about it looking, perfect. Because again, we're not really doing a whole bunch with this. All right, so next comes the round of exposing variables. Let's go ahead and bump this thing over, save this, and let everything begin. All right, so we're going to expose this color as our rough. Okay. Expose this color as our metallic. Okay. Normal format is already... What is wrong with this? Okay, that's super weird, but that's fine. So I guess I can't do Force Alpha to 1 with specific settings? Okay, I don't know. Either way, let's see here. So that's our roughness and our metallic. Next comes the colors. So we're going to go ahead and expose this. We'll just call this color. Okay. We're going to expose this. It's going to be a color 1. I don't really like doing numbers, but I kind of don't know what else to do here. So color 2. Color 3. Expose. Oops. Color 4, and then color 5. And this is just so that we can tweak these things inside of Unity. Color 5. Right. Yes. A little weird for a second. I accidentally named things the same thing twice. Okay. So obviously we're not done with the full texture yet, but we can at least test out the stack on the river stack, which is going to be the most prominent one. So this is enough for that. Let's come back over here. We gotta make our labels. Canyon stacks. Author is of course me. All right. I just gotta name everything real quick. So normal format, part of the normal RAML group apparently. Normal group. All right. Rough. Actually, I'll probably just call this base, and it's going to be under the roughness. It's going to be a slider, clamps between 0 and 1. This is just going to be our base, part of metallic. It's going to be slider, clamps between 0 and 1 as well. All right, so this is going to be our base color, part of the group color. Nothing special there. I don't know what else to call this besides color 1. Accent 1, I guess, part of color 1, or part of the color group. Accent 2, come on, part of the color group. Accent 3, part of color. Accent 4, part of color. And finally, accent 5. Accent 5, part of color. All right, and real quick, I'm going to reorder these. I like to have all of my parameters be in the order of color, normal, rough values, and metallic values. So all the groups are attempted to be organized like that. All right, let's go ahead and save. Let's export it. And Canyon stacks, that's fine. Let's see, everything should be fine. We're doing parent size, so. All right, now, last thing we should need to do is, go ahead and make another thing. Over here to art, substance, environment, overworld, canyon, and canyon stacks. Let's take a look at that in Substance Player. Oh, good, they finally updated Substance Player. All right, so looking good. I mean, not super great, but you know, tolerable. And we can adjust all of our color parameters. So if I wanted to have like a blue ridge, I could. Normal values, not a whole lot there that I need to do. Roughness, I can make it super smooth if I wanted to. Okay, that's all good. Let's come over here to our project, navigate to our substances, and let's see here. You go to the canyon. Where are our materials? Canyon material. All right, so it's going to get pulled in there. All right. So this is where it is. It looks fine. Color, normal. I believe I want it to be false by default. Right? I think we actually do want it to be false. Mostly because, if I remember correctly, true is OpenGL. But I can double check. True might actually be, let's see, no format, it's false. So, yes, so we want it to be false so that we get DirectX. Okay. Otherwise, we do basically this. God, that's really noticeable. Huh. Yep, that's what. Yeah, so it's yeah, I've had everything backwards on a lot of my old textures. Anyway, let's see here. Not that it matters; they get generated at runtime, so they should look correct. So let's go to our canyon stacks. Did it just bounce back? No, it's fine. Okay. All right, so that's looking good enough. Oh, I guess I didn't actually allow the color to be driven in this, which makes sense. But anyway, normal roughness of 1, that's fine. Metallic of 0, that's fine. Do nothing in cache on level load, and we're probably fine with 512 by 512 texture. All right, so now we can try to apply our material to this and try to lay it out, see what it looks like. So let's go ahead and do canyon. It is this one, most definitely. Hit apply there. Oh my. Perfect. Just so good. No one will ever be able to outdo it. But maybe I should take more than 2 seconds to do this. So let's see here. Hold on. Okay. So let's try shrinking this down. Oh, really? They're not the same size. Are you for real? Oh no. Okay, hold on. So 0.5, 0.5. Oh man, this is gonna suck. It's gonna suck really bad. Can I group these guys? Good, I can. So I gotta group all of my faces real quick. Well, all of my sides, rather. And the reason for the grouping is that way I can always know. Oh, dang it, it was clicking through. I knew it would do that. That way, whenever I move or scale these textures, they will be appropriately mapped to these UVs since they're flat. So I need these guys to always be moved together, basically. Let's group these guys. Let's group these. And let's group these. All right. And let's group these guys as well. So all of our textures are now grouped properly. Some of them are flipped, which is not super great. But we will deal with that momentarily, I guess. Let's see. So I'm going to flip you. Yeah, weird. I wonder why these guys got flipped. No idea. Flip you. So that is still nowhere near scaled small enough. So we're probably going to have to go to, I'm guessing, 0.0625. Oh man, we got to go smaller than that even. God, I never go this small in terms of halves. So let's see here. What would be half of 0.0625? 0.03125, I believe. 0.03125. 0.03125. Very close. It's very close. In fact, I actually think that's correct. Ah, dang it. So I probably need to shuffle these around a little bit, but we'll take a look at this. We'll try to get this to work. So give me a second here. Be sliding UVs all over the place. All right. Well, good news is I think that's actually about the appropriate size. Bad news is that. So I need to actually skirt my side or my stack a little closer together. Otherwise, we're going to get clipping like that. That's not the end of the world. Um, that's actually a fairly quick fix, but it is something that we will have to do. But let's try to get everything organized first, just to see what it looks like. So let's see here. Oh my goodness, what is happening? Let's see. Trying to copy and paste some variables here. Seriously? Of course they don't match up. Why would they? So I gotta manually line these up. Of course I do. Alright. What about you guys? Oh, good, you're on opposite ends. Because of course you are. Alright, so I'm gonna kinda make these end pieces be one big one in a weird way. Like that. Wow, that did not go the way I was expecting it, and I put them on opposite ends of each other, apparently. Hold on. Come on. Yeah, as convenient as it is to texture with ProBuilder inside of Unity, there is definitely some problems with it. I mean, it's really cool. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I do think that Maya has a better suite for UV editing, which makes sense. You know, Maya can do n-gons and can handle general, you know, odd shapes much better, and they've had more time to obviously make their UV tools. But either way, let's go ahead and drag this. So I'm just kind of eyeballing this real quick to get it to look nice. All right, so let's take a look at this. Oh, come on. Yeah. Crap. Yeah, we're actually stuck between a rock and a hard place here. Um, because so these front two are too wide to really let our stacks get any closer. Otherwise, I'm going to get some bleeding over here. And if I don't get them closer, then I can't get the two stacks over here. So that's great. That's really great. That means I'm probably going to have to relay out that texture a little bit. And that's why we didn't put all that effort into doing, you know, all the substance at once. It's good to know what the primary goal of the material is going to end up looking like. And I think we can basically do, or what we can do is we can slide the stack over to the left a little bit, and then slide the second stack to be closer to it in general. That might give us enough room to have another stack that's got a wider berth, but we'll see. So let's come back here, and fortunately the top's going to be really easy because that is just a completely separate material. That's nice and easy. It's going to be dirt. And that one's probably also going to have to be 0.0625 and 0.0625. Oh, actually, nope. It needs to be quite larger than that. There we go. Nice. So that turned out fairly decent, actually. Considering that we were just kind of eyeballing it, and I knew that I would probably end up running into trouble. That turned out a lot better than I thought it would. I think what we might end up doing is, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to try and fit 3 of these vertical stacks there, because the two of them need to be really close together for the long sides, and one of them needs to be isolated for this back one, and then I think if I stick these two close together, I can actually get 2 separate stacks up front as well. But yeah, so that's a pretty good spot. Go ahead and look at it in game. See what it looks like. Oops, clicked off. So I probably am going to have to rebuild lighting to make it noticeable. At least the normal map stuff. For now, we can just get base color. It's not bad. It is not bad. I'm going to have to add ripples here. Of course I am. But yeah, for a first pass, that actually turned out pretty well. I'm happy with that. And just to give you a sneak peek of what we're going to have to end up doing for this week, probably, we're going to need to texture those guys out there so that they say stacks. And that is going to be a fun texturing job. And that's only about half sarcastic. I do think that once we get it working, it's going to look really, really nice, and it'll feel cool. It'll look good. I already like that we made the ocean curved. It actually looks a lot better. So, yeah. That's a pretty good place to stop for the day, I think. We should be back on Thursday. I don't think I have anything coming up between now and then. And we will probably be finishing this up. Just taking a week off of the Vertex animation stuff because that's really intense programming-wise. To do some more, fun art stuff, things that I haven't done in a while. It's nice to get back into them. And yeah. So, do I have any other announcements? None off the top of my head. So, as always, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.